What is
What's
happening?
happening,
The show is
fishers?
Dina from Untraceable Fishing here tonight once again with Jared from Bullmore Fishing Tackle. And welcome to Tackle Tuesday. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us for the last couple of weeks. Go back and check our previous videos out where we ran through all the PE ratings of rods and reels. We are moving on to something totally different this week, guys. Bait. We're not talking artificial lures. We're talking fresh bait or freshly collected bait. So there are two different types of bait you can get. You can either go out and collect your own bait, be it live bait, prawn,
Sand mussel if you can.
So guys,
cockles.
And then obviously not everyone has that luxury of getting fresh bait off the rocks or out the river. So obviously you can go into a stop and buy some premium quality bait. The big key thing with bait, guys, bait needs to be fresh. It's going to make a big contributing factor if you have a successful fishing trip or a non-successful fishing trip, guys. And we're going to show you some key points to look at when you are picking your bait out, what to look for, especially with your bought bait, to help you decide if that bait is actually fresh or if it's not so good anymore. So fresh bait is going to make a big, big difference, guys. Many times I've gone fishing with bait that's not the best, and I've got 2 or 3 mates fishing with me. They've got premium bait to me, and they're catching a lot more fish than me. And it hands down works like that, guys. So let's jump into the world of freshly collected bait. You're going to go fishing, and you have time on your hands to collect your own bait. What is your favorite natural bait, Jared?
Look, a favorite natural bait as a shark angler would be mullet. And then as an edible angler, I would say sand prawn.
Yeah, I think sand prawn, everyone's number one.
Yeah.
In the Eastern Cape, if you are in the Western Cape and things, you obviously get some nice bloodworms and some wonder worms and moonshine worm and all sorts of beautiful worms they get down that side, which we don't get here, guys. So key piece of equipment to carry around with you if you are into collecting your own bait, obviously is a bait pump, which you get PVC bait pumps, guys, if you're on a bit of a budget. Or if you are doing it on a more regular basis, you definitely invest in a stainless steel pump. You definitely get a longer usage out of it. So obviously bait pumps, sand prawn or cracker shrimp, if you know them as that. Yeah. Mud prawn, if you are into your aquatic worms that live in the sand. Your bloodworm, I don't even know all the worms, guys, because unfortunately we don't get them here. I think you get a moonshine worm and a wonder worm. There's a lot of different worms that the guys...
Some of those are dug rather than pumped. It's a wide variety.
So anyway, guys, so always invest in a good prawn pump. That's number 1 item I'd say. And then number 2 item I'd say is invest in a throw net, guys. I'm sorry, I'm dropping some of the studio around here. Invest in a nice throw net, guys. I'd say if you're starting out at 6 foot, if you can throw a 7 foot, even better. Something nice to carry around with you. Always gives you a nice range of baits to get. If you're running out, you can get some carantine, you can get some mullet, you can get whatever you can get it. You can slice it up, get some nice head baits for the shark fishing. Yeah. You carry a throw net with you, Jared? You fishing leagues, you're not allowed to, eh?
No, when I'm fish league, I'm not allowed to. But as a social angler, if I go down the beach and I know I'm going for a night or so, like on my previous trip on the weekend, I took it with just in case I had the opportunity. Because there's nothing that beats a fresh live bait for a big non-ed or a big gob.
Big gob. I think it's number 1 bait. Live bait is the best bait, guys. So just a quick, if the guys that don't know, they've never used natural can bait. So guys, one of the other baits out there is rock bait, commonly known as red bait, a wonderful bait if you are looking for mussel crackers, galjoen, bluefish, blacktail, zebras, most of your reef species are going to eat it. Yeah. You are allowed to collect up to 2 kgs a day, which is a lot of it, out of its shell, out of its housing.
Yes.
Sand prawn, mussel prawn is up to 50 a day, guys. Just make sure you check your limits online to make sure you are adhering to those limits when it comes to bait. Another thing we didn't put on the table, a little octopus gaff's a nice thing to carry around if you're one of those guys that likes looking for a octopus or catfish. Some other baits out there that are nice to be collected off the rocks are your armadillos, your cockle, saddlebacks, armadillo saddleback.
Some people know them.
A beautiful bait for your black mussel cracker, white mussel cracker. Galjoen, bigger galjoen also. Don't mind it at all. Also look at your armadillo, ali crackle, or what we commonly know as a cockle.
Yes.
Makes a beautiful bait, and obviously your black mussel and white mussel. So when it comes to collecting those baits off the rocks, I'd suggest a diving knife as opposed to a normal bait knife, guys. Normal bait knives are very fragile, and you'll probably, I don't know how many knives you snapped in your life.
Dean and I have already spoken before the video. We've snapped a fair few between the two of us. So a good robust knife is always key.
If you look at any of the diving ranges of knives, they make nice, very, very sturdy knives, guys. Thick plate steel knives, a bit heavier than a normal knife. But if you are collecting bait off the rocks, just make sure that your knife is within the legal dimensions for collecting bait, especially your black mussels. So anyway, guys, That runs through our naturally occurring baits. Before I cut my hand off here, I think I'm in the wrong way. Naturally occurring baits. So get out there, spend the time, learn where to find those baits. Some of them are a bit more difficult to find than others.
Yeah.
But get out there, and I promise you will have more success fishing with natural baits than bought baits, hands down, anytime. A fresh octopus leg is definitely going to be better than a store-bought octopus leg.
Yeah.
Squid, unfortunately, got to be bought in the store unless you've got a license. Got to get squid. So squid is one thing I'm going to buy. Sardines is one thing I'm going to buy.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, get out there and do it. So now when it comes to store-bought bait, fresh bait, we're going along a nice trip. The number one thing is to keep your bait fresh, guys. So make sure you invested in a best cooler money can buy, guys. The cooler that I personally use myself is Afri coolers, guys. Phenomenal coolers. These are a bit of the bigger coolers that we use for transport. We do from there, however, shift to smaller coolers that we do take fishing. We use the safari coolers, which are brilliant coolers for carrying on your back in a fishing environment. But we put an Afri cooler on the table tonight. Jared's going to open it, and we're going to pull out some examples of some bait here. So we've had this bait here for a little bit of a while. Let's pull the lid off.
Take the lid off there.
Okay, Jared, you pick the first bait we've chosen for the night.
So the first thing we've chosen would be pink prawns. Very, very good for all your edible species. Generally, your bluefish. But you'll also get surprised. You'll pick up a silver, a cob, a pig nose, a variety of edibles.
I think a very versatile bait that anything the sea's pretty much going to eat, guys.
Yes.
So obviously, when it comes to pink prawn, I'm putting them in front of the camera here. Let's get this ice to shoot off here a bit. What you do want to look for, guys, the shell must still have a nice pink color to it. The meat must still be white, guys. When it starts going yellows and browns, you do know there's a bit of an older prawn. And obviously, make sure that whoever's packing the prawns, guys, a lot of these prawns are bought in bulk and repacked, that you're not getting little funny pieces of prawn. Make sure you're getting whole tails, guys, as you're getting robbed with money. Also be careful when you're buying the tubs. There's a lot of tubs out there that you're buying more water than tubs, more water than prawns. So I'd suggest buying individually frozen prawns in a pack like that. You're getting beautiful fresh prawns. And that's going to go a wonder, and that's going to definitely smash a bronze beam or 6. So I'm going to take the next bait, guys, white mussel. Another very, very versatile bait, guys. Can be collected by yourself if you are in a spot to get white mussel by dragging a knife or a screwdriver through the sand. A lot of hard work, but when you do find them, definitely worth the reward, guys. Another way to tell, nice white, as the name says, white mussel. It should have some black lines in the shell. You can see that is very fresh bait, guys. So that's pretty much what you're looking for. Nice coloration in the shell. You don't want any yellows. You don't want anything leaking out the bait. And your little whiskers and hairs that come out the mussel must still be quite visible, guys. That's a nice way to tell if your white mussels are fresh. Good bait for cob. Very good bait for cob. Silver stemras, black stemras, bluefish. Pig nose. Very versatile, soft bait to use, guys.
The next bait I'm going to grab, we've actually gotten 2 that we just took out. Both the same, just different sizes. So this would be
let's
fresh.
We'll even pull this one out the packet, guys.
Yeah, let's take that one out as a sample.
Okay, Jared, what is the one of the ways you tell if a squid? Jared's actually working in the store here with a squid.
The fastest way for me to tell whether or not a squid is fresh, first I look to make sure that it's not pink. Pink squid generally means it's older or it's been previously defrosted. So you want as white as what you can get on the meat.
There we go, guys. Beautiful white meat there. Okay, secondly, the freckles, guys. Freckles on a squid. If I hold it up to the camera here, you'll see these beautiful freckles in the squid. Make sure it's freckled. It's not just one tone of pink or one tone of brown. Yeah. So the squid's still got nice life. And another very easy indicator, guys, look at the eye. Is the eye there? You want to make sure that eye is clean, nice and shiny. It must almost look like it's still alive. You see your reflection in the eye, guys. Yes. Another thing, smell test, guys. It shouldn't smell like anything if it's still fresh. Squid's got no fresh, no smell to it when it's fresh. That's another key way. Sorry, guys, it's ice cold. I'm going to put that down quickly to tell if your squid is fresh. Just another quick tip, hint of the day. A lot of guys, when they go fishing, their squid is super frozen, like it is now, and they start defrosting their bait. They tend to start hacking into the squid when it's still too frozen, guys. I know it sounds weird. Make sure your bait is defrosted properly before you start tearing it. Once you start, if your knife can't go through and the guys actually start physically tearing the squid, it actually damages your bait. I know you're going to think, how the hell do you damage bait, guys? You'll see a milky liquid come out the squid. Yeah. And that's what you don't want to come out your squid. That is all the oils and the flavors, guys. So when you start tearing frozen squid, you'll see like a milky substance start oozing from the squid. You're losing all the flavor out the squid. That stuff's all going to leak out. So make sure your squid is completely defrosted before you cut it. It's going to retain all those oils. And then when you do beat it with your squid hammer, you'll beat those oils back into the squid and not let it all leaked out again, as you're going to be fishing with rubber in the end of the day. So that's a good indication to tell your catfish and octopus legs works very well the same. We don't have any in stock at the moment to show you, unfortunately. But I suggest if you're fishing catfish or octopus, what's commonly known as, or mostly known as, I'd say collect a fresh one. There's nothing can beat a fresh octopus leg with retaining the oils and things like that. So Jared, that takes care of most of our edible species out there. So I'm going to leave you to the shark. I know you're a bit of a non-ed fisherman. So Jared's going to pull out some shark baits here for us, guys.
On the shark baits that we've got here, I'll just grab it here quickly. So for me, still a favorite, as I said to Dean earlier. Yeah, it is.
Andrew's favorites.
So one of mine and Andrew's favorites, always a go-to, is
a nice fresh yellowtail.
A nice fresh yellowtail. So similar to some of the other baits that Dean's mentioned, but obviously now that you're talking about something fishy,
you're going to smell the fishiness.
Check the quality. Yeah, you'll smell the fishiness. Quality. The one thing you'll have to look at, I always make sure that the eyes are as clear as possible. Yes, and that they're not sunken in. And then just generally check down the body. It is called a yellowtail, but you don't want it to be looking completely yellow. You want it to look as natural as possible. Yeah, very, very good bait for your bigger shark species, and a must-have to a shark angler. And as Dean said, you will also be able to smell and judge if this is fresh or not.
It must still smell like the sea.
Yes.
It shouldn't stink, it should smell like the sea.
Yeah. Then, last but not least, pilchards. We've got them in two forms. So this is the normal Bait for Africa 1 kg box. And then for a little bit better quality, the individually wrapped RQFs. So just to get back to you guys on the RQFs, RQF is pilchards that have been quick blast frozen, that have been then put separately into packets, whereas the Bait for Africas, you'll see there, have all been frozen together. There's nothing wrong with that, but if you just want to take two pilchards out and use two for now, you don't have to go through defrosting the whole thing. I think Dean will get back to the quality and what to look for on those.
Okay, guys, hands down, sardine, pilchard, whatever you call it, the #1 selling bait in the country. Every fisherman, you're going to grab a box of what we call pillies, and we're going to head down to the sea. I'm going to put in my hand, guys. It's extremely, extremely cold. A lot of the times, guys, you get down there and you're super disappointed with the quality of your sardines. Get down there, once you defrost them, they turn all mushy. They're yellow. They don't hold. They fall off your hook. Yeah. The fish are not interested in them, guys. So there's some key factors looking at a fresh box sardine. The first thing I do, guys, I look for color. I open the box. These have got a bit of defrosting going already on them. Color the box. I want shine. I don't just want shine, guys. I want chrome. It must look like I'm looking into a mirror. That fish must reflect light back at me. And not just all one color. I want to see blacks. I want to see blues as I move the fish. So the fish looks very natural. I can still see all the dots along the side of it. Eyes, as Jared mentioned again, the eye must still be convex. You must have no sink in the eyes like that. The shape of the sardine, there must be mustn't be shrunk and sucked in. That means there's no oils still in the sardine. It must still be whole and be round. The one key factor is when you buy a box of sardines, turn them upside down. Look into the bottom of the box. There should be no white or yellow viscous fluid into the bottom of the box, guys. That means the sardines have defrosted and all the goodness, guys. A lot of guys think they cut a sardine open and they need it for the red blood to be running out, guys. Yes, it is good. But remember, blood is water-based. So as soon as that bait hits the water, in a second, that blood's all disappeared. Yeah. You want the oils in the fish, and that's going to be that yellow viscous fluid. That's going to hold into the bait, disperse a little bit more slowly, especially on a frozen bait. So make sure none of that yellow viscous fluid has leaked out into your sardines. If they are no good. And the easiest way to leave a box of sardines to pilchard is the smell, guys. You can smell it a mile away. These smell absolutely delicious, something I probably want to eat them. Most people think I'm mad to say that. But anyway, guys, make sure your sardines are fresh. The firmer, the better, the more fish you're going to catch. So anyway, Jared, we're going to pop these back in the box quickly to keep them nice and frozen so we can put them back in the freezer.
Let's get this lid back on here.
So that just gives you a quick run through, guys, on freshly bait you've collected off the rocks versus store-bought bait. Either one of them do work well. If you could fish the one bait for the rest of your life, what would it be? Only choose one bait. You'd catch all your fish on it.
Yeah, now you put me on a spot.
Let's go edible fish, because the shark fishing is a bit different. So
edible fish, I'd probably go squid, eh?
Squid would be your number one choice.
It's one of your more expensive premium quality baits, but it's versatile for everything.
Yeah.
And it stays on a hook for longer when the smaller peckers are around.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a difficult one, guys. There's so many species that eat different things. I'm going to agree with Jared with there. On a store-bought bait, if I had to go one bait for everything, I'd go squid. I can still get a bluefish on it if I prepare it correctly. So squid would be that. And your one, naturally, if you had one bait that you collect yourself, what would it be?
For edibles,
or anything.
Yeah. Okay. 2, I'll mention. 1, the edible bait would be the sand prawn. The non-ed bait, I would probably say mullet.
Mullet fish. Okay, guys. So I'm going to agree with Jared on the sand prawn there. I think the most versatile, naturally occurring bait that we collect, you can catch anything on it. And I'm going to second it with a quarantine.
Yeah, okay. Good call. Very, very good call.
Okay, guys. So we've got a beautiful way to keep our bait nice and frozen in top-notch condition. Now, going on to the rocks, I can't carry the Africooler with me. So if you are looking for something nice and nifty, I fish with 2 of them on my bucket. Fish SA. You can put a little bit of pink prawn, a little bit of sand prawn. They're hooking at your hip. Have a look at one of those. Stops you walking up and down the rock, especially if you're scratching, running back and forth and up and down. Another thing, obviously, look at a little bucket. Obviously, this is a prawn size bucket, a bigger size for your live bait. Then it comes to tools. Now, we've got our bait, the tools that we are going to carry with us for bait presentation, guys. So I'm going to run through this quickly. Make sure you've got, first of all, a smaller pair of scissors for cutting your line and stuff like that. Keep that away from cutting your bait. Keep that nice and sharp for cutting your line.
Yeah.
And then look at investing in a nice pair of bait scissors, guys. When you're cutting your bigger baits and stuff with the hook, make sure you've got a nice more meat or kitchen size scissors for something like that. Otherwise, you end up blunting your small scissors quite quickly. Obviously, a meat tenderizer or a chocolate mallet or squid hammer, something you must have. And then knives, guys. Make sure you've got whatever your favorite knife is. I carry 2 different knives when we go fishing. I carry a more finesse style fillet knife. Obviously, for your more finesse baits, your squid baits and things like that, when you've got to do more delicate cuts and procedures. Yeah. And then I carry a bit more of a deep-bodied knife. That's for when I'm cutting through a yellowtail or cutting through a bigger a bonnie or mackerel like that.
Yes.
With this knife, you're putting a bit too much flex on the knife and you're losing a bit of pressure on your cut. So make sure you've got 2 different types of knives, a nice finesse knife and a stronger sort of knife for your
bigger bites that you're going to be presentating.
And then if you are someone fishing dangles, of course, make sure you've got a dangle puller. Don't be like me in my early days trying to force dangles to your fish. It doesn't work, guys. Make sure you've purchased in a good dangle puller. Anyway, guys, that takes us. But you know what, Jared? I saw something new on the shelf earlier. Have you seen non-related topic, but still fishing, guys? So I was walking around the shop earlier and I see Boss Braid have brought out a slick perma black braid, guys. Finally, I'm a big fan of black braid, just for the cosmetics on it. It looks freaking fantastic on your reel. If any of you guys have spooled any of your reels up with black braid, it just gives aesthetically, it just finishes the reel off. So Boss have come to the party. They brought out their Boss Braid Slick Perma Black. I know Jared and I will actually be fishing with this in the next couple of weeks. And
it will be good to give it a proper review.
Giving it a test, guys. It's available from £10 all the way up to £80. Yeah. Fantastic looking braid. The quality looks absolutely phenomenal.
Very smooth braid as well.
Yeah. The Boss Slick, it's got that DuPont Teflon coating. One of those on. Anyway, guys, so we're privileged enough. We're going to be testing this out in the next couple of weeks, so we'll give you some feedback on it. Have a look in stores now. Just landed. If you are looking for some premium braid, and it comes in black, which this one specifically only comes in black. Like Henry Ford says, you can have any color you want as long as it comes in black. Anyway, guys, so thanks for joining us this evening. So from Dean from Untraceable Fishing.
And Jared from Villamora Fishing Tackle.
He was almost from Untraceable Fishing too there. Till next week, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.